Hey guys, welcome back to KY Coins and Collectibles. And what I've got today is a little coin collection I had purchased a couple days ago. And I was kind of wanting to show off what a normal a normal coin collection is. I know you've seen some of these bigger collections that I've bought, with all the Morgans, and uh, I'll post a couple up here in the corner, but this is your typical coin collection that I have been able to find around my area. Um, Most people, when they bring me a coin collection, it's more or less a handful. It's a bucket, or it's like a little tin can, or it's a box, and it's got a handful of coins and some other stuff. And this one, whenever I got this one, I was like, this is your very typical coin collection. And it's got a little bit of everything. And for the most part, this is the type of collections that I see in my area. People that don't really collect, they just kind of accumulate maybe a piece from a grandparent, or a piece from they found going through change, or uh, a, a parent handed down. So this more or less is what I'm used to seeing. Occasionally, when people know that you collect coins, and they will approach you saying, my uncle or my aunt, uh, they collected coins, and they were very interested in coins, and they have collected for 60, 70 years. And if they're a big coin collector, they may have a box or two boxes full of stuff. A lot of times it could be a lot of silver eagles, but if they're really passionate about coin collecting, they will have a lot. And honestly, over the years, the 15 years that I've been doing this, I have only come across maybe three big coin collections. So, which I've not really told a lot of people that I do this. Uh, People just kind of know, and it's just by word of mouth. I've not really advertised saying, "Bring me your coin collections, I'll buy them." It's mostly just word of mouth. So this is your typical. But like I said, big collections are far and few between. So I know a lot of people, they'll see my big sets of Morgans, and they're always like, "Oh wow, that's a nice set." I've gotten very lucky with those sets, very lucky. Um, I've known these people for a long time. They've been good friends, or friends of friends, and they're like, "Oh, he collects coins. Maybe he can buy all of them." And that's really how it's happened with these bigger coin collections that I've got. But more or less, this is what I get. And I have bought many a collections this size or smaller. Sometimes it's a bucket. I've gotten uh, coins from a fire before. I've gotten coins from flood. We had a bunch of floods up here in eastern Kentucky last year, in the last few years. People may have seen on TV. People have brought me their flood coins, and they've been rusted, and they've had spots on them. But more or less, this is what you see. And I kind of just wanted to show you what you get, and kind of how I price out a small collection like this. So let's check it out. And a lot of times they'll be in a metal tin, which it's never good to keep your coins in a metal tin. Um, so try to avoid that. It's always better. And I've had them come in like Cool Whip containers too, like the plastic Cool Whip, plastic Tupperware looking containers. I have bought many a collections in those. But this one's a neat little tin. I really like it. It's got the dogs playing cards on it. very iconic. Uh, so let's check it out. And this is very typical, and there's always there could be a few coins that have been slabbed, and there's always one or two silver certificates. They're always in bad condition. I mean, very worn condition. I have come across star notes that were silver certificates, so them have been really good find. There's, like I said, there's always a few maybe slabbed up, and these are newer. Lincoln Memorial, 71D and a 71S, and as you can tell right off, there's a Morgan, and then here, as you can see, it looks like another Morgan, but it's not. It's I believe it's just a round. I mean, you can tell right off. And the gentleman that sold it to us, he thought these were two Morgans. He said there's two Morgans in there, two silver dollars. And as soon as I seen it, like you can tell, like and it even says like on the back at the bottom where the mint mark would be, says copy, and then like a couple numbers and some letters. But I did weigh everything. He did have one. It was a 1921, which is your most common when you're buying a collection, and there's Morgans in there. There will be a 1921 Morgan in there, or a 1922 piece dollar. So he thought he had two Morgans, and this big commemorative looking token is supposed to be a $2.50 gold piece, I guess. But I mean, you can tell it's plated, and in the center of it says copy. So that's good about a lot of coins. If you just do a glimpse over it, you may spot something. Which he wasn't trying to sell it as gold. Which I've had people bring in stuff that looks like this, and they swear on their grandpa's grave that it's gold and it's worth $5,000, but you have to be the bad guy and be like, I'm sorry, but it's not. And I always tell people, I was like, I mean, you don't have to believe me. You need to go to a reputable coin shop, or just get online, do an image search. Just start looking up the coin. Look up 1808 copy, $2.50 American. I mean, just start looking the stuff up, and you don't need to look. The first one you come to might be a $10,000 real gold piece, so try to search past the first result when you're looking stuff, because I get that all the time too. They'll bring in a 1971D and they'll tell me it's worth $2,000, and I have to be the bad guy again and say, well, it's not. But yeah, I get a lot of those, a lot of these, and a lot of times if they bring in like a plated gold coin, it will be in a plastic, like a coin case, like a hard plastic, and so you really have to take them out, look at it, weigh it. So and also in here, as you can see, there's not really a lot of. There is some U.S. stuff, but there's a lot of foreign coins, and I come across a lot of foreign coins, world coins, from all over the world. I mean, it's weird. People will have more old foreign coins than they will U.S. coins. But there was 3 silver eagles, and actually in this set, he did have, and I've weighed them and done the ping test and the magnetic test. That's really the only 3 that I have that I can do. There's a good app on your phone. It will let you do a ping test, and basically you can hold it on your finger. I mean, just like that, and just it'll let you hit it, and the sound, it just goes by the sound waves, and it can tell if it's silver. So it's a good app to use. I suggest anybody that deals in silver to download it. But he had three silver eagles, and one of them, I think this one's a 2000 and a 2001 and a 1986, which I believe was the first year that they made the silver eagle. And so that was really neat. And I've got my book here. And again, if you don't have any type of material to help you get an idea on prices, get you one of these, the Red Book United States coin. This is a 2024. And what I do is just I flip through it, and first of all, like, you want to be able to see a coin, because what if they didn't make a 1986 and they started making them in 1987? It would be a good way to tell. And I knew right off, like, if you go through them enough and look at them enough, you'll just know mintages and stuff. And I'm still learning. A lot of people can rattle the numbers off pretty fast. But I knew this was the first year, the 1986, and I knew this was a better coin. So between your newer ones, like this 20, I think this was the 2001. I believe it is just like mint state's $45. The 86 in mint state is $85. So this one could be double the price of the newer ones, depending on condition and grade and quality and all that stuff. But just having the book to be able to reference, like, okay, this 86 is a lower mintage, and a lot of people like the older silver eagles. So, and I had got some bad ones at one point, and I didn't do my research, and it was basically whenever they switched to the newer flying eagle versus the it's the type 2 or the version 2 eagle. Whenever they switched, I believe it was like 2021. Yeah, 2021. And I had bought some 2022s, and they had the heraldic, I believe that's how they say it, the eagle, and they didn't make a 2022, and I've got it. I believe I've still got it, because I just hold on to it. I can't, if I've got something that's fake, I'm not going to sell it. So I believe there was like 4 of them that I had got, and somebody had pointed out to me, actually on eBay, I had a bunch of silver eagles at one point, and I was trying to sell a few of them individually, and somebody had said that's fake, that's counterfeit, they didn't make that type 1 of that 2022 silver eagle. So, and I looked into it, and I was like, well, he's right. So I had bought like 4 of them. But if I'd just done my research and looked them up, I would have known that silver eagle didn't have that design on it. And I wasn't sure at the time. I knew they had changed the design, but I thought they had kept the version 1 or type 1 eagle, but they didn't. So, and the person I got off of, they had kind of just sold me a collection, passing through, didn't really know them. And that's another thing, like, you may want to know your people, or just be like, okay, how do you do with guaranteeing the stuff? I mean, some people say, well, I can't guarantee it because I bought it off so and so. Basically saying, if I buy it, and it's bad, it's on me. So if they tell me they're not going to guarantee it, I know I'm buying it at my own price. So, but, and this guy I really didn't know that I bought this off of. So I done I done my test. I looked at everything, and it wasn't a big price. Like this ain't a big value collection. I mean, you got your Silver Eagles, you got a Morgan and a silver round, and then there's a few other pieces in here that may be face value, and these are just a couple dollars to a few dollars a piece. Like, and everybody always thinks like these are $10 to $15 a piece. They're not. I mean, I've been at coin shows before, and they're $2 a piece, and I've seen them for like $1.50 before. So I mean, I've seen them pretty cheap. I've seen them for $4 a piece. It just depends on condition and where you're at. At certain flea markets, you might see them go for $5 to $10 to $15 because so and so's passing through and they just want this $1, and to them it's worth $15 because their papa had one and they want to get one for their grandkids. So it may be worth paying $10 for it, but normally they don't go that. I've not been seeing them go that high. So continuing on, and I'll just kind of go through this stuff really fast. A lot of foreign stuff, and some of this stuff I've really not even looked up. This is the new Queensland Mint, $5. There's two of them, and it's the Desert Storm edition, 1991. Those were in there. There was one 1964 silver Kennedy, and then a normal bicentennial Kennedy, which honestly those and the Susies, and I'll see a lot of people have a lot of Susies or the gold presidential dollars or the Sacagaweas. They'll have a lot of those in their collections, and I just tell them like that's just face value. Like I can only give face value for that stuff. Your Susies and your Kennedys and your presidential or Sacagaweas. Yeah, because you can go to the bank and pick up bag loads of these. I know I can. I mean, I can get boxes and boxes of those. So they're just face value right now. I mean, I'm not saying don't collect them or add it to your set, but they're just, to me, there's really no value except the face value. And going on, there's always some old nickels, maybe a buffalo nickel or two. I think that's really all I see in the nickels. So 3 buffalo nickels, and I did look over them. I mean, the earlier dates are harder, and of course the 3-legged buffalo, you want to check those out, which you can really tell those pretty fast. And most of the time the dates wore off of them, unless it's like a 35 or something, the later ones. And there's always a few nickels. Sometimes you'll get lucky and get a war nickel, but they're normally be 48 in the 50s, and people have just collected them. More U.S. stuff. You'll come across walkers, and normally they'll be wore out. Like this one's pretty slick, and I think these are just common dates, 40s, 41, 44. This one's got a little bit of detail on it. It's not bad. So those will be in there. And the rest of this, I believe, is newer Canadian stuff. There might be one or two old piece of silver. Like this one, to me, looks like silver. So I think that's a silver dime. Yeah, silver dime. A couple old large pennies. Those are always cool. I do have a box of large pennies because I just like those. They're neat. Uh, and I really just skim through the rest of it to make sure there's nothing older, like from the 20s or teens or late 1800s. Because normally, I mean, it's not. It's the late 60s and up. So, and there'll be some Mexican 1977. It's just kind of, that's what the assortment is. And some stuff you can't even make out. It's already like rusting and getting PVC on. And there's a wheat penny. There's always wheat pennies. And a lot of Canadian stuff. So, and like I said, you'll get wheat pennies. And also, like I said, there's wheat pennies. So this is a bag, and he had actually went through this whole bag of wheat pennies, and I guess he had went through and went through and dated everything. Like he spent some time going through all of them. And I know this takes a lot of time, and I mean, I'm sure he put some value on that because he probably spent a good little time writing everything down, going through a penny after penny. But it helps. I mean, helps me put a price on it. I don't see any key dates like 1909s or 31s. so there's that. That helps. And I just basically take his word on it because it's a good little baggie, and I won't dump them all out. And I've not looked through them, but they're all in normal circulated condition. And I just kind of glimpsed through it to make sure they were wheat pennies. So I'll go through those later. I don't think there was anything in it, but there's always a handful of wheat pennies in a collection. So pretty much that's it. And like I said, there's always a bunch of these little tokens. I'm not going to show you the front, but you know what's on the front if you know what's on the back. Those are always in there. Different game tokens. I find a lot of game tokens. Chuck E. Cheese and arcade tokens. I find those a lot. And normally the person, they don't want to, because normally I'm like, well, I really want your U.S. stuff. Like I want your Walkers, your Silver Eagles, your Morgan, your Buffalo Nickels, and your Kennedys, and I'll take your silver certificates. They're neat. But normally I just try to get the U.S. stuff. But usually they're like, well, just give me a price for it all, and then I just kind of figure up a price about what they're going for minus probably 30% or 20% if it's in good shape. And then I just make a deal, and you basically just say, will you take $50-$60? I mean, what? And you start somewheres, and then they usually think it's worth like $1 million, and then you just got to close that gap. But this guy, we made a good deal. He was happy with what he got, and I was happy with what I got. And a lot of this stuff, I've got a big jar of foreign stuff. I'm just going to quickly look over it, throw it in my foreign jar. I've got a jar of Canadian stuff, and it's a big jar of Canadian coinage. I try to keep it separate because the rest of the stuff I really don't know a lot of. So I've got another bucket of foreign coins that I've never taken the time to look through, and I'm actually getting a lot. And got a lot of these tokens. I don't know where they go to, but I might have to cash those in one of these days. I don't know. I better hold on to those. But I don't know. I enjoy this. Whenever they bring in a box and they say they've got coins, I'm ready to go. I'm excited because you never know what people got. I mean, I've had people with key dates. Like one collection, it was probably about the size of this, and the guy had like an 1899 Morgan, and it's a better date. Um, and I was very excited about it. And also come across a collection. The guy had a cap bust, and it was the oldest coin he had, and he just said he'd had it forever. And around here in Eastern Kentucky, I've noticed watching other videos. Like I watch everybody's videos, and they kind of tell you where they're from, if they're from Tennessee or South Carolina or California. You see all these different coin shops all over the place, and I've noticed a lot of different coins. You'll see different places all over the U.S. So and it's not just like the San Francisco mint coins. You'll see more in California or the Philadelphia or the New Orleans. Like you won't. I'm not talking like that. I'm talking like you'll just see different stuff. Like it's weird. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but you'll just see different coins. I've noticed when people are buying coin collections that I've watched videos, it's different than what I see and I notice on other YouTube channels that have to deal with coins. But this is your standard collection that I find here in Eastern Kentucky. I know we have a lower poverty level, and you won't see a lot of big collections. I mean, people just don't have the money. I mean, your average income is lower here than most states, so you'll see your coin collection will be in proportion to your state income level, I guess you can say. Like it's like we're a poorer state, so we'll have smaller coin collections is kind of what I'm saying. But this is your standard collection for me, and I've come across probably hundreds of these, and it's similar. And what I mean similar, there'll be 4 or 5 Morgans at most. Instead of nickels, you'll have war nickels, or you'll have V nickels. I'm surprised this collection did not have wore out V nickels. See a lot of V nickels, and walkers. I see a lot of walkers, but they're common years. Or mercury dimes. There's no mercury dimes in this collection. That surprised me as well. But it's just kind of different, and kind of let me know what y'all think if y'all are buying collections, or I mean, in a yard sale. We have a big yard sale in this part of the state every year, and I go around basically house to house that's having yard sales, and you walk up to the person and you look around and you say, do you have any coins? And they'll say, yeah, I've got a few, or I've got a box in the house, let me go get it. Do you collect? And I say, yeah. And I say, well, you mind if I look and offer you a price? And sometimes they'll sell, and sometimes they'll say, no, this is my grandpa's, or I'm going to hand this down to little Jimmy. So, yeah, you just got to ask. But I've noticed this is the standard collection that I see. So let me know what kind of collections you all see a lot of. Do you get online and try to buy off eBay? Do you go out? Do you advertise? Do you post on Facebook, Instagram, Craigslist? I get on Craigslist all the time looking for coins, and there'll be ads on there for I will buy your coin collections, or I'll buy silver and gold. And sometimes you'll come across a collection that somebody's trying to sell, and but just be careful on those sites, of course. But this is the standard collection. I bought this, like I said, the other day, and just wanted to show you what the standard collection looked like. If you see anything you're interested in, or if you like or had questions about, let me know. These, your face value stuff like that, I'll put to the side and probably just take it back to the bank. I mean, there's $3.50 there, $3.50, and I'll probably just take those back to the bank and get $3, or just hold on to it. Might throw it in a bag or something, a grab bag. But I don't really put anything besides face value to that newer stuff like that. But it'd be good for somebody who's just starting out, maybe to throw in their collection. But yeah, that's really it. I appreciate y'all watching. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. And please like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.